Obama, who sat here and let big corporations sit here and buy foreclosed houses in 2008 by the hundreds of thousands. And now when people are trying to buy houses, there's not the demand. They don't have the demand is higher than what we have. And it's going to take us at least 5 years to build enough houses to fix that demand. So the areas that we can build a lot of houses are in areas that, like, with like Harris's plan, she was like, oh, well, the federal government will build houses on federal land. That was her plan. The majority of our federal land is out in the West Coast in mountainous desert areas, right? That have 0 towns near them. So shoving a whole bunch of people out there is not going to do anything. It's not going to do any good. It's not going to be anything because people don't have jobs there. So they're not even going to want to buy the houses there because they don't have a job to work there. So those two big issues are 100% to blame on Democrats. 100%. And it has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing with Trump.
I mean, it's a pretty good system for them. Trump gives them $1 billion tax cut, and then he donates a couple millions for the ballroom. Everyone benefits, but the people paying the tax.
I mean, the ballroom really doesn't matter. It's a private donations. It really doesn't fucking matter. Really doesn't fucking matter. Really doesn't fucking matter. Without addressing the actual concerns, the actual things that people are worried about. There's times where you have to bail out a fucking company. We saw it with Ford 10, 15 years ago, where Ford was going to go bankrupt and we had to subsidize them and we had to save that company, because if we didn't, that would have been a really huge impact on American economy, because Ford employs a fuck shit ton of people and so if all those people lose jobs, that's really bad.
Why do you hate Trump?
Why do I hate Trump? I don't hate Trump.
Good.
Yeah, I don't hate Trump. I'm just arguing.
That's my boy.
I'm just arguing with people who do.
Yeah, because if you don't like Trump, then leave the country type shit.
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's just I think that a lot of hatred of Trump is
because Trump's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy.
Sure, I don't know, but it's a lot of the hate for Trump is very misguided.
We know you're a femicist.
Femicist? What's that? What's a femicist?
It's when you change your voice to this.
A femicist?
It's when you like beautiful people.
You guys are okay.
William, bro, you're on site. Say that shit one more time.
He's like, oh my god, host likes beautiful people. I'm gonna insult him for that. This is a terrible insult. Terrible.
No.
I'm just going to.
Alex, bro, you and I are besties, right?
Sure, I guess.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you think of the big beautiful bill and its provisions?
Some of it was good. Some of it was good. Some of it was bad. I would sit here and say that the child tax credits, expanding that was good. I do like the idea of no tax on tips. I have a lot of friends who, which is going to start in 2026, this upcoming year. I don't know if it will be 100% if it will work, but it's something worth trying. It's a good idea, but it's
Who is this Cali guy?
How many people do you know that actually put their cash tips in their taxes?
No, I agree with that, because I was a server and I was a manager, food and beverage manager, and sometimes they'll get taxed on a tip, and
where do you work?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not telling you exactly where I work.
It doesn't matter where she works, but also, I'm pretty sure that now a lot of tips are electronic, and so they were automatically getting taxed from that. because it's
You
not
sound
like
like
the
you work
old,
at Chili's.
it's,
Well, let me
No, I don't
ask
work
you
at Chili's.
this.
I work at a 4-star hotel. Shut up.
Sorry.
No,
4-star
I
hotel,
agree
why
with you.
not 5?
oh my God, guys, who gives a fuck if she works at a fucking 1-star or 5-star? Let the
Yeah,
fucking
like,
woman
You
you
can't
speak.
say
know,
that word.
Yes, I can. Let the goddamn
I'm
woman
just
speak.
saying,
Like, fuck.
from what I
You
see
can't
and from
swear.
when I was a server, I would
You can't swear on live.
you have to claim all your credit card tips because they're on paper and they're seen. So those have to be, you have to claim those. The thing about it is you can come in and have people sit down and eat, right? They sit down and have a dinner. Say they don't tip you at all. You're still going to get taxed on their food. So if they don't tip you, you're basically paying for them to eat. And that's not
Damn.
cool. Like, I know a lot of people, tipping culture has gotten out of hand in some places, but there are times when tips are appropriate, and when someone's busting their ass, they are appropriate, and I don't think they should be taxed on them.
Wait, explain how you get taxed on someone else's food. How does that work?
So what happens is, if you're a server, right? So you have a report at the end of the day, and that report is all of the food that you rang up. Has anyone here been a server?
Yeah, I was. That's what I'm asking.
I haven't. I have friends that
Okay,
are. I just
so
haven't.
when you work and you ring everything in, and you have, like, at the end a total of what you rang in and what you owe the restaurant and what you're taking home. So that total you get taxed on. The total that you ring in, you get taxed on. And if you didn't make 15-20%, then basically you're screwed.
Yeah, are you talking about
Luckily-
like income tax, like that kind of tax?
No, I'm talking about how old are you? Yeah.
I'm 21.
No, they're
Okay,
not.
so yeah, you're pretty young. What I'm saying is, as a manager, at the end of the night, I look at your X report, right? It's called an X report, and I see how much you did in sales. You get taxed by your sales.
On the sales, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes in and eats and they don't tip you, you're still getting taxed on their sales, right?
Yeah.
Like, say they
I
got
never
pissed
got
off.
taxed on sales. I got taxed on. I got
Yes,
hourly.
you did,
so,
bro. You did. You just didn't. You just didn't know it.
realize it.
Yeah.
You just didn't realize you were getting
back
taxed on
when
it.
people are doing books. Yeah, you did.
But also, like, I think that people don't realize, like, this no tax on tips, the way that they wrote it in the big bill, beautiful bill, is for, like, credit cards and debit card payments, because most people, you guys
No,
are
the
correct,
company
that
did
if
not
you
pay
get
taxes.
if you get cash
William.
tips, it's pretty easy not to just hide that, right?
Yeah, if you get cash tips, you don't have to. You can literally look at me, and I know you got cash tips, and you can tell me you didn't get any, and that's what I'll report, because you're getting like your ass kicked on your credit card tips. Say, like, you made all your tips and credit cards that night. You're getting all that is getting reported.
Yeah, but what the big beautiful bill did is it also included debit card, credit card payments. So
Yeah.
now you're not going to get taxed on that, on those debit card and credit card payments.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you this?
Right, Lewis.
This clarifying thing. So you guys say no tax. They say no tax on tips, right? Here's the scam about it: is if you pay, like, let's say you can qualify up to $25,000. So I'm saying here of tax and tips per year from your taxable income, but it's a tax still, because your employer is going to still take out that from your still take it out into taxes, and then you take a deduction at the end of the year. That means you don't get to spend that money. You need that money now, but you don't get to spend it. That's
normal with taxes. Every year at the end of, I'm sorry, that's literally normal with taxes. Every year, I get a deduction. I usually get about $8,000 back in my deduction every year for my taxes, right? Would it have been nice to have that $8,000 throughout the year? Sure.
Yes, William, you're right.
Sure, right? But I mean, it's pretty normal fucking practice to sit here and say, yeah, at the end of the year, beginning of the new year, you file your taxes, you get your deductions, and you get your deposit back, and here's your fucking taxes, right?
Yeah, but it shouldn't be
And
called
you
a no
probably don't
tax
even
on
know
tips.
what they're deducting.
You know, should
Like,
be
you
called a
don't know
deduction
that.
on tips.
But they don't tell you, like, hey, here's your tips deduction. You just get it. Like, you're not
So-
sitting down with them and they're being like, oh, here's this deduction, here's this deduction. They don't go through the deductions with you unless you do your taxes and look at them.
Yeah, like when I do my taxes, I deduct like office space. I deduct a lot of things. I deduct my phone bill. I deduct travel expenses that when I travel, I
Yep.
deduct that. I deduct a lot of different things, right? And I have to list it, right? And then the government gives me money back for it.
Yep. Because it's part of your work.
Yeah.
And like
So-
William said, you cannot. So if you're smart, this is what I did when I was a server, which was years and years ago. I would not claim my cash tips. I'd be like, oh, I didn't make any cash. Because why am I going to get taxed on my cash tips? I'm already getting taxed on all my credit card tips. So I just would not claim them. Like William said, you just don't claim your cash tips. You don't say you made any.
Yeah. So
But
that
the
doesn't.
IRS knows you make cash tips. Like, they're not stupid.
Yeah,
But
they
there's
just
nothing
don't
they
care
can
enough.
do.
Yeah, they just don't care enough to try to like. I mean, they could try to like go after you and prove it, but they don't
Audit
care.
you.
Yeah, they could try to do that, but they don't really care enough about it to do it, because it would cost the government more to like go and audit all the fucking servers who are keeping their cash tips and not reporting it than it would be the profit that they make from it.
Yeah, they audited us one year and we had to go through everything. It was wild.
But I mean, I've gotten audited before, but it is what it is. I think
Then come up and explain it, Rainwolf. I don't know what you're saying.
But yeah, no, I think that like this, like I always sit here and say all the time, this whole over dramatization of what Donald Trump is doing is silly.
Mm-hmm.
It's silly. It's Donald Trump is, I don't know like how history's going to view him and his policies.
A lot of it's media.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is just people are sitting here, and let me tell you something. You know, Biden had terrible fucking policies that were intentionally meant to do good, and they were terrible, like the American Rescue Plan, right? That literally drove inflation up by about 2 to 3 points over what it was already the inflation. Inflation was already gonna rise. It was already going to be in that. And then because we did the American Rescue Plan, it rose inflation even more because we pumped too much money into the economy too quickly. And all of these different things. And so when you look at all of these plans, right, you have to look at the good and the bad. And every policy is going to have good consequences and bad consequences with it. And so that's why I sit here and I say, I don't hate Trump. I think that some of his policies are good. Some of them are bad. Some of them I'm a little bit iffy on and sitting here and going and be like, we'll see how it turns out. But Rain, what were you wanting to say?
Sorry, just 1 minute.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
Connor, go ahead.
What do you think about Trump being a fat orange hooker for Israel?
Bro. Okay. So this whole Israel thing, right? You do realize like that Donald Trump was the one that sat here and put pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu to get a ceasefire, right? It was him who did that.
I understand that he's made certain political moves that may be against Israel's agenda, but if you look at his presidency as a whole in the last, what has it been, 12 months at this, around 12 months at this point, I think in majority, he's made decisions that have been really good for Israel and at a more rapid pace than any president we've had in the last 30 years or so. Since George
Biden
W.
sent
Bush.
way more money and way more equipment. And in fact, Biden sat here and said that.
I'm not denying Biden did too. I didn't like Biden.
Yeah, no, I know. But
they're all
what do you
owned by
want?
him
What do you want
somehow.
from Israel, right? What do you want? Us just to not give them any money?
I don't want us to fund a genocide, and I don't think Israel is a country that should exist in the first place. I think that they exist on land that they stole from Palestinians almost a century ago. So
That's not historically accurate, though. Do you
It
not
is,
remember
though.
the Crusades? Do you not
they're
remember the Crusades? Do you not
immigrants.
remember the Roman Empire, the
They're Polish
Ottoman Empire?
refugees from World War II, brother.
Like-
We're not talking about the biblical Israel. We're talking about the political
The
state of
biblical
Israel
Israel
founded
is
in
around that
1948.
land. There's historical, literal. If you're going to talk
There's
about
religious
historical-
significance to it, yeah. But
No, if you're gonna
the
talk-
Zionist belief is greater Israel, and greater Israel is all the land of Palestine, and everything gets wiped, and it's just Israel. You know,
If you look-
that's
look-
their entire goal is ethnic cleansing.
Look, every group of people has extremists who
Which is disgusting.
oh, yeah.
who have disgusting worldviews.
Yeah.
If we look at the historical significance of Israel, and just the people, right? When was Palestine first on the maps labeled as Palestine?
A long time before
during the
Israel
Roman.
was.
No, not before Israel. It was done.
I'm
during
talking
the
about the
Roman
political ethno state of
That's not.
Israel that was
That's, I'm
founded
not
in
talking. I'm not.
1948.
I'm not. Did I bring up the Bible? I'm not.
No,
bringing
but what
up
I'm
the Bible.
saying is
not
no.
talking about the
I'm
Bible.
trying to be
Well, nobody's
respectful.
talking
I'm
about
sorry.
the Bible.
What I'm saying is you're talking about a version of Israel that does not exist anymore. I'm talking about a version of
That
Israel that was
happens.
founded in 1948,
That
and they don't have any
happens.
correlation anymore.
Okay, that
They don't-
happens. So, that's like you sitting. Like this whole idea of like, oh, 100 years ago, this and that, right? 200 years ago, this land was owned by the Native Americans, and we fucking shoved them the fuck out.
Yeah,
Right?
we stole it from them as well.
Should every fucking person who's not a Native American or have Native American heritage leave America?
Yes.
No, I don't
That's
agree with
stupid.
that.
That's
Obviously,
such a dumb.
I'm not
fucking
saying that
thing.
everybody in Israel is a horrible
Right.
person that needs to die.
No,
right?
I'm
I'm
not
saying I
saying
don't
that
like
either,
Zionism, and I don't like their government, and I don't like what their
You can
government's
not
doing.
like
to
their
those
government,
people.
but you can also realize that it was the world who fucking put them there.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame them for what their ancestors did or what their grandparents
I
did
mean,
or
it
what
was
their
the
great grandparents
world,
did.
right? So you're sitting here and you're saying you don't believe that they should exist, yet you have no actual fucking solution. Oh, you're just wanting to be fucking mad for no fucking reason. You want to be mad about something. You sat here and said there is no solution. You don't want to kick them out, right? You don't want to do that. So there's absolutely nothing that a government.
I think
or
the
United States
solution for
president
our
can do.
end, in our end of the deal, is to stop funding them, stop giving them money, stop giving them equipment.
Okay,
and
do you
just
think
stop
that our
associating
funds
with
are
them.
do you think that Israel actually needs our funds?
I think that it significantly helps them, and I think it's a good look for our country to not associate.
The reason
with them.
we fund them is because they have really good missile systems and we use them.
They have good intelligence. They have
And
one of the
missile
best
system.
intelligences in the
And
world
the
that
best
spies
missile.
on us and their own citizens and Palestine.
And their best missile system. They have the best missile system in the
Yeah, I'm not denying their military
we want
importance.
that. And that's
I'm saying that
why
their
it's
military
beneficial
importance
to
is
us.
dangerous.
I'm saying it's beneficial to us.
Wait, which missile system?
It's
is
not
the
as
best?
beneficial to us
in the
as it
world?
is for our relationship to them.
Their Iron Dome system is viewed as pretty high as like probably the best system in the world.
Okay, as a military intelligence person, I can tell you it's not the best system in the world, but go ahead.
You talking to me or the host?
The host.
I said probably viewed as one of the best.
It breaks maybe top 5. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about that one because I mean, I when I was in the army,
I just don't like
worked
a
on
foreign
the missile,
adversary
but-
interfering with our politicians and funding our politicians and swaying elections. 98% of politicians that were funded by AIPAC won their elections this like entire year. You can look that up. That's a statistic.
Do you think that just because if we got rid of AIPAC, you think that those same politicians wouldn't have won?
I think that they're funding and they're being inflated by AIPAC and they're getting more visibility.
You don't think
AIPAC.
that some other group is going to come in and also try to do that? The thing
The
is,
difference is AIPAC isn't on the same system as other foreign adversaries. They were never registered on it because JFK was assassinated before they had to sign on the deal because JFK wanted them to sign on FERPA is what it's called. And then he got conveniently assassinated, so they've never been on FERPA, which makes every transaction between AIPAC and our politicians or anything else that they're funding not very transparent because they're not on the same system as other foreign adversaries, which is concerning to me, and it should be for everybody.
Israel is not a foreign adversary. You can look at
AIPAC is not Israel as a whole. AIPAC, the American Israel Political Affair Committee.
I don't think why do you think that?
Because they give hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to each of our politicians to sway them towards pro-Israel policies.
That's what
I promise you can look into this,
That's what
bro.
every lobbyist does. That's what insurance lobbyists do.
But they're different from other lobbyists, is what I'm saying. They're not on the same system, and they have way more influence and way more funding that they give to our politicians more than anyone else.
Yeah, they're a huge fucking lobbying group. Okay.
You don't think that's concerning, though? That they're all being funded towards one pro-Israel belief?
I think that we should get rid of all lobbying. But
I do too. I agree with you on that.
I don't think that just focusing on Israel, right? I don't think that when we look at Israel and the Palestinian conflict, right, and everything that is going down there, we need to realize, right, that there is several different fucking actors in play right now. And I don't think that it's fair, right? Like I will sit here and say that Benjamin Netanyahu, the way that he's handled this conflict and the way that and terrible shit that he's happened to people is horrendous. But I will also sit here and say that Hamas is an evil, disgusting fucking group of people, and I do not have any sympathy for them being unalive.
Oh yeah, you don't have to be pro-Hamas to be pro-Palestinian. You know, like I'm not saying that Hamas is a terrorist organization.
I'm pro-innocent civilians, and so what is going on right now is two terrible governments not giving a fuck about the citizens, attacking each other and using citizens as cannon fodder. Okay,
but so you got to understand that the creation of Hamas is because of oppression from Israel for almost a century, right? So when you oppress a group of people for an extended amount of time, there's going to be people that rebel against that oppression. So I'm not justifying Hamas and saying that their terrorist actions are good, but what I'm saying is when you oppress a certain amount of people for a certain amount of time, they're going to break. Okay, so they essentially created their own opposition.
Okay, so then why was there this was just broke in the news, by the way. There was literally a group in California that was planning a terrorist attack that had pro-Hamas ties and was going to go and on New Year's.
Look, I'm not justifying any of that, and I'm not justifying what happened in Australia.
No,
right?
Hold on.
Okay.
Why would they? Why do you think, right? Because using your logic, right, we could make the argument to sit here and say, oh well, because America has donated weapons to Israel, then they feel oppressed, so that's why they want to attack us, right? I don't think we need to excuse terrorism. Okay.
I'm not excusing terrorism. I'm saying that they're committing terrorism out of oppression.
And murderers. And that's what Hamas is.
Yes, and I'm saying the IDF are equally bad, if not completely worse, by an enormous margin.
I would say that they're equally bad, right? But let's not pretend.
Well, the centrist view on things isn't going to solve any problems. You know, like I understand that you're trying to be logical here and you're trying to look at different points, and I respect that. I respect that you don't just take opinions blindly, but there are certain things in this world that are a lot more swayed depending on how you morally stand. They're a lot more swayed towards one side, and if we want to solve these issues, you kind of have to act on them. You kind of have to have opinions. So when people are dying and being bombed, innocent people, hospitals, journalists, all these different things, all these red flags that are popping up, over 50,000 people in Gaza have died since October 7th. You got to have a little more of just like a centrist view on it. You know, you gotta be a little more active on how you Hamas had never. Where do you stand?
Would you say, logically speaking, if they had never committed October 7th, then Israel wouldn't have had the pretense to go and do all of that?
No,
I don't know if you want my opinion on October 7th, bro.
No,
because I don't know if you are even open-minded enough to want to talk about that.
I'm simply looking at this from a factual, like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I am too. I promise.
No, yeah, but I mean, okay, look at it from a historical point of view, because Netanyahu has broken several ceasefires numerous times.
And so he's not for peace. He's trying to ethnically cleanse a group of people to expand his country and take power.
He's even said it himself.
He's a dictator. He said it himself, America is really easy to sway. He wants sympathy from Americans. He said that 9/11 was good for Israel because it generates sympathy from Americans. He said it was good for Israel as well because that's why we all went to the Middle East. That's why George Bush put us in the Middle East, is because Israel knew about 9/11 and they knew it would politically benefit them to let it happen. So then we get involved with the Middle East and we start fighting Israel's enemies, giving them more power, giving them more influence over the Middle East. What do you know? What happens 20 years later? They're now committing a genocide against Palestine. We all knew it was going to happen. Greater Israel and Zionism is the biggest plague, I think, in the world right now. And that's my opinion.
And I think that Donald Trump's plan for this conflict and eventually making a two-state solution is the only way that we can deal with this. It is the only way. We have to do that, and we have to send in national peacekeeping forces from the regional powers in that area to hold that ceasefire and to do that.
Well, then when are we going to do it?
like,
Because they keep breaking ceasefires, bro.
That's why we would send in international forces.
Then let's do it. I'm not seeing any action on his end, so until I see
Because
it, I'm going to keep
Hamas and
criticizing.
Israel have not agreed to it. They agreed to have a ceasefire.
Of course they haven't, because they don't want peace. They want power.
Actually, the Hamas and Israel have they signed onto it, but they haven't completely finished negotiating.
Look, we've tried to send Gaza tons of aid. We've tried to send them humanitarian aid, food, medicine. Israel blocks that. They block their boats. They arrest the people on those boats, and they take the food.
Okay, I don't care about Greta Thunberg. Okay, she's fucking annoying. But
I'm not talking just about Greta Thunberg, bro. It's the World Health Organization. It's a world organization that is responsible for helping people. It's happening.
But I'm sitting here and saying, so what Donald Trump has done is people are sitting here and saying Donald Trump is owned by Israel, yet he got aid flowing back into the country. He got people to stop killing each other, right? A lot of this you guys are you're like, oh, Israel's bad.
Thank you for the gifts, Pablito. Sorry.
Okay, Israel's bad. Now what do we do about it? What do we do about it? And that's what at least Trump has a fucking solution. And he's trying that fucking solution, and I don't think that Donald Trump is getting credit for it.
Look, you can look at there's so many videos and evidence of Trump and Netanyahu being in bed together. I mean, not literally, right? Netanyahu he said multiple times that they're best friends, that he's provided Netanyahu with so many weapons, he doesn't even know the name of some of these weapons, but he wants them. Netanyahu wants them. It's very, very obvious that he sends them tons of aid. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and defend Joe Biden or the Democratic side of our government, because they're all owned by them too.
Bro, enough with all these presidents have done it. Okay, it's insane, fucking annoying, and this is why I hate debating fucking people on Israel, because you guys just constantly go, oh, all this aid we've sent. Okay. Well,
they are the country that receives the most aid from us out of every country by an enormous margin.
We have to accept the fact that we want their intelligence, we want that regional power, we want their bases, we want the airfields, we need them there, and we want those things.
All right, well, you can keep huffing the greatest ally copium, but I want to get high.
I'm not saying there are greatest allies.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you guys.
Do you all know
that there are greatest allies?
I don't know how to read this shit.
It's our regional power,
Did you know we fund their education system?
We fund their exactly.
Their universities, they only have to pay $5,000 a year, right? Not only do we fund their educational system, we pretty much fund their universal health care as well. Israel actually has universal health care because of American taxpayer dollars. Are you aware of that?
They receive money every month until they are the age of 18. That stacks out to about $340,000 US, and that's all taxpayer money from us. Every single citizen in Israel gets like $340,000. Imagine a U.S. citizen being able to be 18 years old and buy a fucking house and a car, as soon as they become an adult.
And the United States military does not have any.
Trump's over here talking about America first, and I'm over here like, okay, if it's America first, then we need to stop that immediately. But he hasn't. What he's done is actually continue the funding, and he's going to continue it because why? He's profiting off it. He's a wealthy individual here in America. I am too. He wrote me the largest tax cuts with TCJ and Big Beautiful Bill. But at the same time, he also reduced my corporate tax cut.
Okay, except that you guys, so
only pay 21% instead of 35%, right? So the average American is subsidizing me now at $732 a year. But outside of that, he's also continuing funding foreign aid in foreign countries, therefore not providing the American First agenda that he campaign on. So yeah, he just manipulates the shit out of labor class.
More in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, we've sent more aid to Ukraine than we've sent to Israel.
We don't have any airfields in Israel, right?
We use them, but
we use their airfields. We don't have any of our own.
Okay, I said we use their airfields. I never said we have.
We use multiple airfields all over the world,
but
it doesn't matter.
So yes, and why can we do that? Because we're allies with those fucking
because we have soft power, which the United States is losing greatly because of Donald Trump's policies.